Welcome to WUFT News. I'm Samantha Serbin.
Sun Center visitors know by this sign that if they come to this parking lot, they can be towed. Blake Harrison is known for his murals all around Gainesville, especially this one, honoring local legend Tom Petty.
And the Alachua County Commission met today to talk about the homeless and the next steps for Grace Marketplace.
GPD knows U of students love to come to Midtown and drink with their friends, but with the recent fake ID bust, they are making sure all students know to take out their own ID and not a fake.
Second Amendment advocates march with their guns and rifles to protest gun reform in one North Central Florida community.
With the recent increases in scooter thefts, GPD encourages all students to lock their scooters by turning the handlebars to the left and then inserting their key all the way to the left to lock their scooters.
Alachua County is looking to combat mental health issues at a very young age with its newest program.
Gainesville residents know they can't just cross anywhere. They need to walk over to the crosswalk, hit the button, and wait.
Residents have been coming in and out of this room all night to check these maps to see if their homes are now in a flood zone. The Jewish holiday for Yom Kippur starts tonight at sundown.
I'm here on University Avenue where in just less than an hour, the groundbreaking ceremony for La Casita and the IBC will begin. I was able to speak with community members who told me just how much this project means to them.
Kind of like a home away from home.
Samuel Santos has heard the stories of La Casita, a gathering spot for Hispanic students since 1994. La Casita took over a home on University Avenue right next to the Institute of Black Culture, which was established in 1971. The two old homes were destroyed in 2016 to make way for new facilities.
Not having them right now, there's certainly a void that's felt on campus and within the community, and we're looking forward to these houses and these institutes bringing communities together even closer than before.
The old wooden buildings were falling apart and weren't up to code with space and accessibility.
At a certain point, it was determined with as many renovations as the university tried to do, it was just the right time to rebuild.
The original plan, 2 wings with a common kitchen and elevator, gave way to separate buildings as next-door neighbors, just as before.
They wanted to make sure that the Black community and the Latinx community had their own unique spaces because they were the only spaces on campus like that.
Tonight's groundbreaking ceremony will lead to the start of construction, with an expected opening in fall 2019.
And then I'll be able to use it my senior year, which will be really exciting and a good send-off for me.
William Atkins says he can't wait to celebrate with the community.
It's going to be an amazing time to reflect, to celebrate, to honor the history and the legacy that so many Gators from the past, present, have advocated for and have fought for. So we are looking forward to doing this right.
A reception is happening right now, but people have 6 p.m. to get out here and see the ceremony firsthand. Reporting live from the future homes of La Casita and the IBC, Samantha Serbin, WUFT News. Well, September is National Recovery Month, and with high-profile cases such as Mac Miller's overdose, as well as Demi Lovato's, is bringing us a reminder of lives lost, people struggling, and sometimes being saved. You can find opioid addiction stories from all walks of life. I spoke with a former Alabama football player who now lives in Alachua County. He told me he struggled with opioids on and off for nearly 10 years.
Hey, if you don't get help, like, we're done with you.
It wasn't until Jacob Jones almost lost his connection to his family that he decided to throw up a white flag and go to rehab.
I can't even imagine like what it was like for my family to sit there and to watch your baby boy or to watch your brother sit there and go through the stuff that I went through. And it must have been horrific for them.
His opioid addiction began back in college a decade ago. It started with painkillers for an injury.
Then it went from like, I really like that to I really need that.
When he finally tried to quit, his resting heart rate was at stroke levels and he had to be hospitalized. He spent time in the coronary critical care unit and a psych ward.
That was really like my physical rock bottom.
Jones entered the Florida Recovery Center in 2016, where he met Dr. Anthony Russell.
My interactions with Jacobs have been great.
The psychiatrist says it helped that Jones was finally determined to change and becoming more optimistic.
He kind of went with full fervor, and I think that's what, that's the fire that he carries with him when he goes out and helps other people who are suffering.
Jones has been sober for about 2.5 years now. He wishes he could explain the lifestyle differences to current addicts.
And it's just a terrible way of life. It's just a completely selfish way of life, and it closes you off from seeing all the good things that life has to offer you. So that's one thing that I would say, that there's a better life out there, and just encourage them to go and at least try it.
If someone you know is addicted, Dr. Russell stresses the first step toward recovery is reaching out. to a doctor, a rehab center, or even just someone else in recovery. You can learn more at the website recoverymonth.gov.
Never again.
I've never seen a community so broken, but so strong.
Zach Zhu was one of nearly 300 UF students who graduated from Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. He helped organize last night's UF Vigil, which attracted hundreds of people. Last Wednesday was a normal day for him at college. His phone was out of power. Normal until he got to his apartment and went online.
I click the link and I see my own high school, and it pans over and I see my house in the distance too.
Coach Aaron Feiss, a Parkland hero for saving students, introduced Zhu to weightlifting, his biggest passion in life. And Zhu's best friend will never be able to hug his sister Carmen again. After the losses, Zach knew he could not remain silent.
This is going to be the last time this ever happens anywhere. We live in the greatest country in the world, and kids are afraid to go to class because of incidents like this. That doesn't sound like the greatest country in the world to me.
I love you.
Alyssa Houtman also graduated from Stoneman Douglas and has two brothers there now. One was at school when the shooting happened. She waited anxiously just to hear from him.
Just knowing that my little brother, who's a freshman, was locked in a closet for, to him must have felt like forever, indefinitely, and that I was just here in Gainesville, completely removed, and there was absolutely nothing I can do.
Last night, a dozen alumni shared their personal connections to the tragedy and their memories of high school. They're calling for action.
Something, I don't know what it is, but something has to happen.
They are collecting donations through a Venmo account and a GoFundMe page to raise money for the school and for their own trip to DC to call for gun control.
He's only 19 years old and he's able to buy a weapon of mass destruction, and he can't even buy a beer.
Others spoke about mental health issues and tougher screening for gun background checks.
Luke Hoyer, Kara Lofren.
Never again. Samantha Serbin, WUFT News.